trees if I shifted like this. Still touching the painting, workaholic detective moves his hand. The entire wall around it slips back like a sliding door, revealing a hidden path. Little Wiki, who has been waiting in place, begins a newly discovered path. And you figured out.
それは企業秘密ってことで、私はこの仕事を続けて長いから。
おじさんやるじゃん。ぶっちゃけ見直したっつうか、むしろリスペクっちゃうみたい。
おじさんは勘弁してほしいな。私まだ一応20代だからね。
Workaholic detective turns red in the face as downtown detective slaps him in the behind.
この先でナイフが使われ
That
たの
blade
か
is
な。
used somewhere else to hurt.
何が起こるか
As we
わから
know
ぬ。
not
我が
what may
先陣を切ろ
occur,
う。
I shall stand in the vanguard.
おい待てって。この広さなら2人並べるだろ。
Rowdy detective tries to push forward, but stopped by doleful detective.
大和さんは科学くん、渋谷さんと
Actually, would
通
you
路の
mind
入り
guarding
口
the
を張
entrance
ってお
for
いてく
detecting
れないか
downtown
な。
Rowdy? Think my abilities
今
to
の状
commit
況な
him.
ら僕の
Armor and doleful detective are to spearhead our foray into the secret passage. Me and workaholic following after. Rowdy, downtown, and Techie would remain at the entryway, acting as lookouts in case the tunnel is a trap. That's why I'm being brought along, probably because I won't be able to escape this. I'm struck by the fact that Workaholic, the most experienced of the group, had deftly assumed the position beside me. These detectives don't miss a single beat.
じゃあ僕と武装さんで先導していくね。
As he speaks, Doleful and Armor Detective enter the tunnel together. Workaholic and I continue right behind them. The four of us descend down a spiral staircase that winds its way underground. At the bottom is a gloomy underground tunnel. We proceed into it using the light function on our D-pad to guide our way. The only sounds are our footfalls echoing in the tunnel, as well as silhouettes and threads that crawling across the floor ahead of us. Doleful Detective's eyes narrow as he Doleful's intense concentration appears. Workaholic Detective whispers to me as if he's reading my mind.
彼の序列は14位。
Ranked
すでに
14.
100件
He
以上
solved
の
over
事件を
100
解決に
cases
導い
and
て
survived just many bloody encounters.
彼の序列は14位。
Oh, one of the cases solved, eh? Great idea, learn leaves me speechless. Become now far apart in age, and yet his track record is on a whole other level. So far to life as a seemingly gentle boy led up till now. What did Doleful mean when he said his abilities could come in handy here?
時に君も身をもって知るさ。
Easy enough. He possesses
同盟
what
内では
really
彼の
eyes
能
before
力を
makings of
名探偵。
Doleful detective stops in his tracks.
武装さん止まってください。
Armor, stop!
どうしたのだ、飛躍殿。足
What
から血が
happened,
出てい
Sir
るぞ。
Doleful? Your leg is bleeding. Armor shines the D-pad's line on Doleful detective's leg, revealing a trail of blood beneath his knee. Something reflects in the light just ahead of him.
足元に
Huh? There's something at your feet.
おそらく侵入者撃退
I
用
guess
の罠
there's
だ
a
よ。
trap to ward off intruders. Judging by the texture, it must be some kind of wire. He's right. When I get closer to reflection, I see red dripping off an extremely fine wire. So these are thin and difficult to see. That were not for the blood, it would have been nearly imperceptible, even in direct light.
探偵同盟で開発中のワイヤーソか。
So, this is the wire saw Detective Alliance is currently developing.
どうして透明でそんなも
Why
の
would the Alliance make something like this?
密室の錠前をこじ開けたり、
Pushing locks
拉
to
致を
enter
拘束された
sealed
時
rooms.
の
What
護
the
身
means
用
of
だろう
escape
ね。
when restrained.
本来は
Why does that
特殊なグローブをつけて使うものだって、素手では触らない方がいい。
Best avoid touching
Yo
it
te
given
digo,
its intended use.
人体くらい
So
に
sharp and with
強
enough
く押し付け
pressure
るだけ
could
で
cut
切
straight
断可
through
能な
human
切れ味
flesh.
だ。
Ouch! See the fingernails in there? Workaholic detective produces medication and bandages from his pocket and begins applying first aid to Doleful detective's leg.
ひどい怪我だけど、
This is
こ
rather
の程
nasty
度で済ん
cut.
で良好か
But
も
you're
ね。
lucky to get off this lightly.
君以外が引っかかっていたら、足が切断されていてもおかしく
Anyone
なかっ
else
た
would
よ。
have been liable to lose a leg in your position.
僕の体質
Situations
が
like these are
片手
about
く
the
らい
only
しか
time my
誰かの
special
役
skill
に
ends up
立つ
useful.
体質って
special skill. What do you mean by that? For some reason, Dolphin Detective struggles to reply. Workaholic steps in to answer on his behalf. Dolphin is a danger magnet for a natural first cause. From traps to wanted criminals to find murder scenes and even evidence. His innate intuition and powers of insight are what have allowed him to survive such less than fortunate circumstances. That's how he has the makings of a great detective. In stories, detectives are always expected to survive, even when wrapped up in personal pace, and even when their life is online. And now, something in front of a real-life detective who embodies that very trope. Not impressive. In fact, I'd say just bring misfortune everyone and everything around me. Didn't miss my existence. Dolphin Detective's expression flickers as he touches a bandage on his wrist. The countless traces of medical attention covering his body shows just how much suffering he's constantly endured. Don't forget the scar on his head. I see resolve in Dolphin Detective's eyes as he speaks. You know, may look similar, I mean the older one, but nothing in me competes with that look. Put me farther apart. So Dolphin, you needn't be so reserved. Armored Detective abruptly steps forward. He then swings his arm up before bringing it down to chop the wire before us. Armored Detective? No way you can cut steel! Just because you The suit in which I'm clad is the product of my family's long-held secrets. Behold the strongest armor known to man! The wire parts with ease. Sure enough, Armored Detective doesn't have a single scratch on him. Both doleful and workaholic widen eyes in incredulity. No matter the trap, mine armor shall prevail. Set your minds at ease, and allow me to take the lead. But I mean, Brother minimize the total risk of our team as a whole. I can't stand idly whilst my companions are hurt. Despite my inadequacies, I hasten here to be as an aegis for each of you. Armored Detective speaks with a calmness that eases Dolphin Detective's taut expression. Despite the latter's brave front, he might have been knowing his limit. Thank you, Armor. In that case, I will stay back a bit and keep an eye. Armored Detective takes the lead as Dolphin acts as a lookout behind him. Armor, I get a sense of threat right in front of me. In fact, get high. Another wire, Understood. Without a second thought, Armored Detective swings his hand toward the area Dolphin Detective indicated. Chop, chop, chop. Sometimes Dolphin's warning comes too late and Armor runs into a wire, but even then it never leaves a mark. They continue safely with the darkness, until... Based on the signal, the tracker stops 5 meters ahead. The singer arrived in the scene when the knife was used. We finally make it to the end of the tunnel with 0 injuries. Save for Dolphin Detective, of course. Sniffy Whiffy is parked right in front of a steel door, which means a bloody knife the family must have been used right behind it. I hate to ask, Armor, but would you mind taking point? No need to apologize, Sir Workaholic. My armor exists for the very moment I must forge such paths. And yet, the Armored Detective looks tense as he cautiously touches the doorknob. Goosebumps ripple across my body. Deep down I get the overwhelming urge to scream, "Don't open it!" So as if my mind somehow knows now what we're about to see is truly horrific. I have an extremely bad feeling about this. I shall open the door on the count of 3. 1, 2... The doorknob makes a click as it turns. My heart rate leaps, but I can't bring myself to look away. A blinding light flashes as the door opens, forcing me to avert my eyes. On top of that, a metallic stench envelops me. The way sticks to my throat makes me cough. However, none of the other detectives show even a hint of fear as they proceed beyond the door. I hurry to follow them, but at that moment... The awful detectives cry echoes. As I step into the room, the first thing I see His ground dyed in crimson. The red spreads across so much of the floor that at first I mistake it for a carpet pattern. But there's no way that's the case. Despite my hateful disbelief, the smell filling the air tells me that this is blood. With each breath, metallic stench fills my lungs. My stomach, my whole body, I'm assailed by an overwhelming urge to vomit. I lose focus for even a minute, and I'll wind up spilling my guts out. Upon close inspection, I notice something floating in the ocean of gore. It's large and reminds me of a castle, but all of the long thin objects around it. In a way, they resemble a quartet of lifeboats, all rowing in different directions away from the sinking ship. But in truth, they're human limbs, scattered about across the floor. And first is a scene devoid of life. A man whose name I don't know gazes at me, his head half submerged in the sanguine sea. My eyes are transfixed as I stand there in a daze. There's a biting chill, as if the temperature has dropped by quite a few degrees. My hands and legs tremble. I can barely stand. Every ounce of strength leaves my body, which no longer feels like my own. I must have all the willpower I can, only to topple over on the spot. Is this all just bad dream? First time seeing me. Try not to look away. Without any consent to spare for me, a workaholic walks towards the pool of blood. Silver armor, compared to the other three detectives. After that, I'd like you to ask the chief into manner. He sums up the hard matter in low voice. It's a homicide. Someone has murdered senior detective. Regardless of how detached he remains while objectively stating facts, it doesn't change the reality we're facing. A middle-aged man's corpse lies dismembered, his limbs strewn across the room we stand in. For the first time in my life, I'm confronted with murder. Chapter 1. I stand in a corner, my mind completely blank. This is my first time witnessing a murder scene in person. Saika's death is... So I now lies torn to pieces in a vivid sea of blood, dead. No great detective, and although I tried to steel myself, coming face to face with a scene like this, has me too weak to stand. Even once I regain my footing, my legs still struggle to remain upright. The metallic stench of fresh blood is one I'll never be able to get used to. Breathing my mouth as much as possible. If I had a choice, I'd sprint out of this room this very second. But a colleague detective ignores me as he investigates the corpse with meticulous efficiency. Even the victim must have been well acquainted. His pained look when we found the body suggests that his mental burden is far greater than mine. Yet despite that, he shows no sign of weakness. How much experience solving homicides would it take to become a detective like him? I can't even fathom it the way I am now. The other detectives who had been summoned by doleful detective, unable to hide their shock at the sight.
おいおい、なんだよこりゃ。どうしてうちらが駆けつけるまでに殺されたってわけ？マジ笑えないんですけど。そんなこと不可能のはずです。老子探偵さんのそんな短時間で人体をこれほどの出血だから死因がないのは当然として死後硬直すらまだ直前に電話ももらっているから当然ながら血液の凝固具合から殺されてから半日も経った時系列を整理しよう。ロイスさんから連絡を受けたのが12時40分。そこから私たちは速やかにチーム分けを行い緊急とか洋館への到着時刻は13時ジャスト。私たちが研究棟から洋館へと移動していたこの20分間に犯行が行われたと見ていいはずだ。先生質問。うちらが研究棟へ出発する前に犯人がそれはないよ。私たちはロースさんからの連絡を受けてすぐに洋館へもし仮に犯人が洋館の外へ脱出を図っていたなら鉢合わせしていたはず。よって犯人は私たちこの洋館まで続く坂道を駆け下りるにゃここで重要となるのは犯人が現在も中に残っているかどうかだ。犯人が館から脱出できた時間について考えてみよう。エントランスホールで無能君を見つけた私たちはしばらく話し合った後15分後の13時15分に2階へと。そして大和さん
科学軍のおかげで隠し通路を発見できたのは13時34分。隠し通路の前の廊下からは常に洋館のエントランスホールを一望可能だ。私たちがあの場所に犯人が洋館に潜んでいたなら、逃げ出す時間は私たち犯人はまだ洋館内にいる可能性が高いんだよ。
20分あれば洋館から抜け出すくらいはできるんじゃ。
外に出るまではできるかもしれませんが、その後が問題です。洋館と研究棟とをつなぐ坂道は一本道で隠れる場所もありません。下っている間に窓から外を見る。
その通りだよ。実際私は窓から外を見るように気をつけていたが、怪しい人が確認できる。
ちょい待ち、今エントランスホールは誰もいないし、まず
ああ、それなら大丈夫。もし今脱出を図っていると
つまり犯人はまだこの館の中にいるということか。
よっしゃー、ならさっさと上に上がっぞ。建物の中を徹底的によっしゃー、ならさっさと上に上がっぞ。
待ってくれ。洋館内に隠れるよりもずっと手軽で。無能君、君が犯人なら時間的にも何ら問題なく。
My voice cracks as I'm caught completely off guard. Me? The killer? That does not make any sense.
単純な話だよ。
Simple. All you'd need to do is hack up Senior and line the entrance hall faking
エントランスホールで倒れたふりをする犯人がこの館から逃走できないなら、君が犯人だと考えるほか。
何を言ってるんですか。
What are you saying? There's no way I could chop someone apart in 20 minutes. Not to mention all the wires that were set along the underground passage. How would I have gone past those? I raised my voice in protest without thinking. Even with Arm and Dover's help, getting through that passage took 5 minutes. Hard to imagine anyone like me with no special traits making it useful.
そこが問題だ。おそらく何らかのトリックを使ったんだ。私は不可能ではないと思う。
What do you mean?
耳を澄ましてくれ。
Listen closely. Can you
天
hear
井
the
か
voice
ら
of
聞こえ
Dover? He's right. Between my ears, I can pick up sounds coming down from the ceiling. Where are they coming from now? Which were the only people inside the manor?
構造上、この地下室の真上はエントランスホール。
beneath the entrance hall.
おそらく
Assuming that's
リ
what
ーダーたちが
they
館に
keep
こ
firing
の
at
地
the
下
man.
室は身を隠すための部屋だろうから、すぐ頭上のエントランスホールの様子が音で把握できるように。
Got gaps in the ceiling where light filtering through. Or how I detect the stairs, coming from the entrance all above us.
ともかく、この地下室とエントランスホールは実質隣り合っている。何らかの不可だとか、この地下室の天井とエントランスホールの床板の一部に細工が、例えばこの地下室の天井とエントランスホールの床板の一部に細工がしてあって、人一人が通れる隙間を作るとかね。
I think his should be assistance 1 then. Workaholic's relentless reasoning leaves me overwhelmed. Even if there is a gap, there's no way someone my side could fit through it. Still, he's right about one thing. The entrance hall and the basement are awfully close together. What's possibly killing me now that we know it's possible to move between
ちょ
them?
っと秒で結論出しすぎじゃね。天井と床を通り抜けできないことの証明とか無理ゲーじゃん。そんな悪魔の証明みたいな無理難題を突きつけて追い詰めるとか。
渋谷殿の言う通りだ。エントランスホールへと移動したな。我の必殺技。い
や、風穴開けちゃったら元に戻る。そもそも20分で大人の男性、犯人を男性だと仮定してもよほど手際よく
血抜きや皮を剥ぐ必要がないし、狩猟に慣れてるやつな。
じゃあヤマトさんが犯人ってことでいいですね。
自信があるってだけだっつうの。戒律の処理やだって時間が足りねえのは間違いないしな。
いや、時間は十分だったんだ。
君も気づいたようだね。そう。
As he speaks, Workaholic holds up a blood-drenched wire. Unpleasant as it is, someone wonders how even Dover Detective's leg was cut earlier. You mean someone used this wire on Senior Detective?
もしかしたら犯人はロースさんから私たちに連絡があったとして脅すことで無理やりロースさんに連絡をさせた後、ワイヤーを引っ張って獅子を切断すれば、あとは
そのワイヤーはさっき見張り役の皆さんを呼びに行った。
付着した血の量からして先ほど飛躍君が引っかかったワイヤーでないことが明白だ。犯人はおそらく僕らが隠し通路のワイヤーを切断することも見越して、むしろ凶器を隠すために犯人自らがワイヤーの罠を設置しておいたのかもしれない。ともかく現状では無能君を犯人として疑わざるを得ないんだ。
Speak up if you have any object.
僕はや
I
ってません。
didn't do it! I shout an impulse. Regret fills me almost immediately. I'd say the same thing if I was guilty, as with in my
無
shoes.
能君がやったなんて僕も信じられないよ。
私も同意見だ。同盟
おい待てよ、無能の兄さんが犯人だ。俺にはわかるぜ。
根拠は何ですか？無能さんを疑わないで。
俺の勘がギンギンにささやくからだよ。
非科学的すぎます。推理は根拠に基づき
And they have the
順序
reason
立て
why I
て進め
have
ましょ
no
う。
room for bias in my arguments.
んだとこら喧嘩売ってんのかって。
はいやめ喧嘩はマジさ。
だけど科学の坊ちゃんがよ。
別に無能先輩を疑ってるとか言ってないじゃん。ええ、結論を出すのはまだ。何らかの方法で犯人が館を脱出した可能性や。
すまねえ。おや、
それぞれに思うところがあるのはよく分かった。今からエントランスホールにリーダーを迎えに。
待つのだ社畜殿。我々は互いの手を取り合い。
だけどこのわずかな間でも今私たちはそれぞれ異なる結論に向かって捜査を。
同感ですね。僕は自分なり。
なんだよ悪かったって。だけど人間なんだからよ。
それでは探偵失格だと思います。
だとこら探偵が忍者を忘れたら終わりだろうが。
ああ、もう落ち着きなって。
It doesn't seem like the investigation is going to start anytime soon. Just like Workon, like the detective said, everyone's playing this by their own rules, so no one is taking the lead. Everyone? I want to suggest we all work together, but the words down my throat. There's no way I could be so bold and undefined suspect. I know that, and yet I feel like I need to say something. My fist clenches. Unlike me, each of the detectives here has their own talents and strengths. It's my incompetence that really drives home how amazing they are.
口論なんて。僕はまた救えなかったんだ。何もできずに見ているだけなんて。
My self-loathing mounts as I listen to them bicker amongst each other. My position in this situation doesn't matter. What happens to me isn't as important as getting these detectives to work as a team.
皆さん聞いてくださ
Everyone,
い。
please listen. The other detectives turn to face me. Naturally, they all look rather dubious. Falter for a moment, but desperately push on.
僕を疑っている人は
I know a lot of you
少なくないと思いま
suspect
す
me. That's fine.
それ
There's
で
a
も
lot
いい
to
です。
suspect, I understand that.
だから一度
But can't you all at
皆さん
least
で
try
協
to
力して
cooperate?
協力か。
Cooperate?
それは難しい
Order.
ね。
Our personal modes of
我々はどう
investigation
に
are
も
hardly compatible.
そう
うちもそもそもの方針からして無能。
だから
That's why I want everyone to agree on what direction to take. That's right. Although I'm too tense to make a proper response, I force my voice out, trying to be bold to give detectives my suggestion.
皆さん全員で
Please proceed with the investigation
僕を
under the
犯人
assumption
僕
I
が
did
犯
it.
人だという前
To
提の
start
もと
there,
な
we'll
ら
be less likely to have any more
今み
arguments
たい
like
な
this
口
one,
論
right?
も起きにくいでしょう。
The detectives fall silent. Me telling them to suspect you of supervising the move after all.
正気かよあんた。せっかく俺たちが擁護してやってんのに自分から疑われてとか言って。
諦めずともいいではないか。急にどうしたのだ無能殿。
何も諦めていません
I'm
よ。
not giving up. It's not as if I want to be the main suspect
で
here.
も
But it'd be even worse
僕
if
の
the
せいで捜
investigation
査が
stalled
滞
out
るのは
because of
もっ
me.
と嫌なんです。
Stake my safety on your deductive reasoning. I raise my voice with all my strength, my trembling hands and balling fists. I trust all of you far more than my own incompetence. We work together and know the truth will come out. I'm sure you'll prove I did. The detectives only taking my words. Not one of them speaks up. They all simply stare at me incredulous. I guess my suggestion was overstep my bounds. Probably made them even more distrustful of me. But I don't regret it. I'd much rather have these outstanding detectives suspect me than continue arguing in vain. I hear a cold, beautiful voice behind me. My breath catches as I turn around. Just how should we respond when the suspect gives a statement like that? Continue to argue, never find any common ground, or take action swiftly and promptly. I eagerly await your answer. Her hair is white as snow, her gleaming eyes purple like hydrangeas, her skin smooth with features like a porcelain doll. At her back stands a far from ordinary girl. The others are visibly thrown off by her arrival. It's clear that she stands out even among those prominent detectives. Chief, why are you here?
到着したらエントランスへ迎えに行くと伝えていました。
I truly believe I'd wait idly by. Am I clear from senior detective has been murdered? The girl workaholic called Chief speaks without a hint of timidity. Footsteps sound out from the passageway. Evidently, the other detectives followed her lead, heading to his room. We never told you about this basement, did we? We figured it'd be better this way, so no one would get hurt inside the tunnel. I noticed an echo beneath my feet upon entering, so I placed my ear to the floor and watched shutting here for your voices. The chief shares her amazing feats as though they were simply a matter of course. Worked so hard to find this underground room, and yet she found it by merely touching the floor. No wonder the others look shocked. Huh? I startle as the girl gives me a smile. Compared to how she treats the others, her gaze at me feels more personal. No, I'm probably mistaken. I must be.
君が噂の新入りくんだな。私は理想探偵。八つ崎港対策チームのリーダーを務めているものだ。先ほどはいい単価だったよ。君に
先ほどは取り乱してすみませんでした。他の探偵の皆さんも到着したら、事件の全容と私の。
ありがとう、社畜くん。助かるよ。ただ、勘違いをしていそうだから、最初にこの事件の容疑者は、私たち八つ崎港対策チームのメンバー全員だ。
What? Promotion erupts as the detectives speak over each other. Which, of course, isn't surprising. Other than me, nobody else was in the manor at the time senior detective died. On top of that, this murder required enough time for a full dismemberment. In what possible way could he have been killed? Ideal detective has only just arrived here, but her hydrangea-like eyes glimmer like gems as if they picked up on something.
事件の輪郭は見えた。あとは君たちと協力し、さあ、探偵諸君。反撃開始と行こうじゃないか。
Soon enough. The other detectives join us on the scene. God damn it, Senior. To think your time has come. How many trials did the Lord expect us to endure? I vow that I will send the culprit straight to hell. Mark my words, Porter the Duke. Flames below burn hot.
あなたは別に老子探偵と仲良くなかったでしょ。
我らの絆を愚弄するな、音楽探偵。私たち探偵同盟のメンバーは魂で結びついたソウルメイト。交流の有無は関係ないのだ。
Yeah, he did.
そんな気色悪い関係はごめん被りますが、八崎子を許せないのは同意です。
A middle-aged man in anachronistic Western garments and a black-haired girl clutching a hard-covered book approached the boy chatting. That has the mind of a seasoned veteran. girl, on the other hand, looks on 10, it doesn't claim to the cyber corpse. Both of them must be experienced detectives.
探偵序列5位である私、家族探偵には
The woman, just so elegantly that she looks out of place, jabs a finger at me.
洋館で倒れてたというそこの庶民臭い男。ああ、また私の有能さをアピール。あらあら、その推理は誤っている。なんですってどうせでたら
The woman called Parks Detective speaks to someone in a motorcycle seat. He smiles as if she's enjoying it.
どうかしらね。そんなことよりも外道探偵なら洋館へ着く前になんですって大戦マイペースを崩さないのが彼のいいところだ。また別の事件で活躍してくれるリーダーであるあなたが甘いから序列上位の方々はピンカートン家の誇りにかけてこの私が必ず
Ideal Detective doesn't flinch and merely smiles at Parks Detective's belligerence.
ありがとう家族くん。君のような目的意識の強い部下がいてくれるおかげで私は安心して危険な事件にも身を投じられる。もし私が敵にはめられて前線を退いた際は探偵同盟の不吉なことを言うんじゃありませんわ。この私をリーダーの座を奪うときは実力で奪い取りますか。
While alcoholic detective explains the situation to those who arrive from the facility. Once he's finished, Ideal Detective addresses. For some reason I read that as arrest. And the only one missing now is Renegade.
君たちも目の当たりにした通り、そして殺した犯人はおそらく。
Tensions rise across the room. Some detectives look at each other while others turn their gazes at me. Seem like they're gonna stop suspecting me anytime soon.
どうせそこの庶民が犯人なのでしょ。
私も同意見です。
I agree. Rationally
状
speaking,
況を
no
冷
one
静
but
に
me
考
can
えてい
be
け
the
ば
culprit.
無能君以外に犯行は不可能。
庶民のくせにいいことをおっしゃるじゃありませんの。社畜探偵。
褒めてはないかな。
Minus 50 points, workaholic.
褒めてはないかな。
How funny. Analyzation thing. So, that's about right. Inference should be 1.
はじめに最大の誤解を解いそこの無能探偵などと呼ばれる彼は
リーダー自らが
You personally invite
一体何のため
Why?
に
Workaholic addresses the elephant in the room. Even I'm hearing this for the first time. I have no idea what she intends for me. With a sense of my confusion, Ideal Detective's eyes meet my own. They're hydrangea-hued irises and implore me to trust her.
私が最も信頼できる存在をそばに置きたく彼自身は覚えていないかもしれないが私は過去に彼に命を救われていたな。その潜在能力を高く評価しているんだ。島へ招いてほしいと老子探偵に頼んではおいたがまさか拉致
Workaholic Detective's mouth hangs open as Ideal Detective casually explains the unexpected. Which makes sense. This is an extreme mixture of business and private affairs. I can tell he's in no state to even begin questioning her. Not to mention, I'm quite surprised myself. I saved her life? But we've only just met. But at the very least, this does make me seem a bit less suspicious. Now's not the time to make any clumsy comments, so I stay quiet and let Ideal Detective take the floor.
本当にそれだけかしら。さすが美食君。噂通りのいい花をしているな。
無能君が犯人でないとしたら老子さんから連絡があった時無能君以外の全員が
いい質問だな飛脚君。君たちがそれこそが犯人の仕組んだ最初の罠だ。そもそもあの連絡の直後にこの場所で老子探偵が殺されたのは間違いない。
分かったぞ。死後に電話させたんだな。 ブードゥーの資料召喚の儀式を。
オカルトノーミス野郎は黙っててください。妄言を口にする男性を。魔界君の推理は当然誤りだが、死者に話をさせる。今試して分かったことだが、この地下室では通信なんですって。
I beg your pardon? The other detectives pipe up in shock. Does this mean that senior detective was restrained somewhere other than the basement when he made contact? That can't be right. There were 20 minutes between the message being sent and the detective's arrival at the manor. It's impossible to drag someone down that narrow wire-filled passage, not to mention dismembering them in so short a time frame.
ロースさんから連絡があったのは事実ですよね。
The fact that senior
地下室では
contact
不
us
可能
now,
なら
that's
ど
in
の
the
ように
basement
連
has to
絡
be done.
気づいてしまえば単純なトリ
Just
ック
push
だ
it,
よ。
really. What do you thought
犯人はローシ君の声を真似ていただけなの。
Just as
今私が行っているようにな。
Just as I'm doing right now. Ideal detective sounds just like senior detective as she speaks. My eyes were closed, I may well have mistaken her for the man himself. She's that skilled at impersonating him.
生体模写ですか。確か
The vocal
に
mimic.
犯人が私の推
There's
理通
certainly
り
a
の人物
possibility if the
像な
killer
ら
is the kind
可
of
能です
person I
ね。
imagine them to be. Vocal mimicry. Heard about this historical skill of my mentor. It originated from Edo period theatre. He told me how there were established modes of practice, and that in the DA, where disguises often come in handy, many were experts in the art. Though I doubt I could ever master it, no matter how hard I tried.
探偵同盟に犯人がいると言
That's
った
why
の
you're
は
so certain the
これ
culprit
が
is
理
part of the
由。さっ
detective
きの
line.
研究員たちの
The
虐殺
traitor
に
lurks in our
ロー
midst,
シさん
and
か
the
らの連
massacre
絡の偽
smart
装
to be
は
plausible enough, as
探
with the
偵た
idea
ち
of
の
fake
中に
message
裏切り
from
者
a
が
senior
探偵なら
detective.
可能な犯行であるがゆえに
Feasible
逆
from
説
the
的に犯人は探偵の可能
paradoxically
性が高
increasing
く
the
なる。
odds that one is indeed the culprit.
ああ、そもそも研究棟の探偵たち22名を全滅させるなんて、外部の侵入者だけでは不可能。研究棟の遺体を発見した私たちは、そのあまりの事態、この事件の犯人が電話で私たち、ちょい待ちいくら探偵だからって、うちには生体模写とか。
その通り
Oh, I
だ。
beg to
筋
differ.
肉を鍛え上げてきた我であるが、生体は
Verily,
波。
my training earned me mighty
Setai
views,
Mosa
yet my
Totemo,
vocal cords
Totemo.
remain middling at best. Such mimicry is out of the question.
ああ、普通ならばできやしない
It can only be done, but we
だ
are
が今
facing
回
someone
私
who
たちが
easily
対峙す
slew
る
a
相手
dozen of
は
our comrades.
平気で数十人を殺害する機体の殺人。私たちが推理のプロフェッショナルだとしたら、
Being professionals in
相
logic
手は
and
殺人の
reason,
スペシャリストだ。
and our opponent is a specialist
普通
in
ならばで
homicide,
きないこと
one
の
or two
一つや二つ。
impossible feats
何食わ
would
ぬ
have
発想を
been
自分の価値観に押しとどめる。発想を自分の
Both of them fall silent at ideal detective's words. The persuasiveness is a weight that provokes no argument. If that
電
phone
話をわ
message
ざわ
was
ざ偽
false
装
to
するという
Chief,
ことは
by the time he received it,
Lord.
Senior was
すでに殺され
precisely
てい
was
たか
already dead, or at least in no
もし
state
く
to
は
speak.
電話
Could
な
use
ど
the
できない
cold
状態
temper
だ
and
っ
the
たのだろう。
chronology of the
犯
遺体
crime.
をわざわざバラバラにしても
Chronology of the criminal.
八つ咲き子の犯行を模したと思わせて
So
犯
the
行時
dismembered
刻を
body
特
is
定し
meant
づ
to
らく
make
す
us
るためで
think
すか。
this was done by the Quartering Duke, as
巧
well
妙
as
な
to
ト
store
リ
the
ックで
time
す
death.
ね。
How
まんま
ingenious.
と犯人の策略に乗っ
My
てしまい
deepest apologies for allowing the killer's
申し訳あ
thought
り
to
ません。
deceive me. It would seem I still have much more
私
to
も
learn. My colleague detective hangs his head. Ideal detective smiles gently at him before continuing to
地下
speak.
室でローシ君殺
The
害の準
culprit
備を
set up
整え
senior
た
staff
犯
in
人
here
は
and fled with his
彼の
data.
デバイ
Then
スを
per their
片手に
plan,
地下
he
室を後
contacted
にし
me
た。
as we
そ
investigate
して
some.
ローシ探偵の遺体を発見させるために。
待てよ、老子のおやつさんからの連絡はリーダーが録音して
声の違いに誰も気づけなかったなんてこと、科学的にあり得るんで
Who's
す
to
か？
say? I really have no idea. Can only see.
人間の記憶の
No
特性
idea what
だ
I
よ。
am doing with my voice. That would be due to the peculiarities of the
人
human
間の
memory.
脳は構造上、視覚情報の記憶が得意
The
な一
human
方で、
brain excels at
言語
recording
情報や
visuals, but
聴覚
struggles
情
to
報
do
の
the same
記
with
憶は苦手
linguistic
とし
and
ている。
auditory
その
information.
ため、親
Because
し
of
い
this,
相手であっ
it's
たと
not
しても、
uncommon for people
電
to
話
be
で声を
incapable
聞
of
いただけでは、
identifying a caller
正
on
確
the
に電話
phone,
主を思い
even
出
if
せ
it's
ないで。
someone
確かに取引先の名前を覚える際、容姿や声と名前を結びつけると覚えやすいと言われ
or
ている。
face.
文字や声の情報だけでは
Words sound low.
電話で
相手の名前を聞いた途端に記憶と声が結びつくことって。
電話での振り込め詐欺がいい例だ
Bank
な。
transfer scams are prime example.
電話
The
主に名
scammer
前を
begins
先
by
に
providing
口
the
にされる
caller's
と
name,
記
so
憶と声
you
に
fall
多
for
少の
it
差異
even
が
if
あ
their
ろうと
voice
も
doesn't match.
誤認してしまう。
Who's to say my voice doesn't match? I don't know what you're talking about. Psych. Yeah, I'm terrible when it comes to voices. When you think I always give the
多
same
少の
ones
声の
to
違和感は
multiple
通
characters.
信の不具合が原因
End
だ
up
ろうと
convincing yourself that
自分
any
で自分
or
を都合よく納
discrepancies
得さ
are
せて
the
しまうん
result
だ。
of a poor connection.
そういえばさ、
Connection.
老師のじっちゃんからの連絡マジで聞き取りづらさやばかったよね。あれって声の違いを隠すためだったわけ？
おそらくは
Likely so. The whole thing
全
seems
てが作為
contrived.
そこまで分かっているなら呼びかけに答えなければよかったではあります。
信じたかったのさ。
Because I need to believe it was him. For the first time, radio detective's expression grows dark and serious.
もし犯人が老子君を演じているのなら、彼は電話などできない状態だということだ。も
The cover
う
was
彼と
impersonating
再
Senior.
会
It
す
meant
る
that
こ
I
と
couldn't
は
speak. It meant I would never see him
だから
again.
私は老子君の生存に臨む洋館で罠が待ち受けていようとも無事なように、護身術に長けるブス。ただ推理の結果はご覧の通り的中だ。自分の推理
Their mirthless, sorrowful laughter startles me. Whereas now no skill at deductive reasoning can also perceive in future. Ideal detective predicted the death of her friend. The pain she's feeling must be greater than I can even imagine.
だが探偵の仕事は悲劇を嘆くことではない。悲劇の殺害された同士23名の無念は必ず晴らしてみせる。
Revealing the truth, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. What can be said? I hate half-truths, I hate lies. And that's why I pursue topics, even after they're closed.
探偵諸君、私に協力してくれ。この島に集まった13人の力が合わ
Otherwise,
せ
you
れ
can just have your
ば必ず
your
約
thought
束法の
process
計画を
warped
阻止できるはずだ。
by saying, oh, such and such is my favorite, but, oh, such and such said so, so such and such, so on and so forth. Like the whole Kurosanji thing. It doesn't absolve them of any guilt, but how do people know that it was the idea? Because two things stood out to me. Well, three. One being that sounded out of character for two out of three of them. Vox being the only one still in character. And I was the middle manager. The top one has two features which pretty much make him stand out from the others. First, he rarely shows himself. That's where the notion about Elira being manager came from. Second, he doesn't understand much English, which, going back, can also be linked to Selene's last comment when Kurosanji were posing as her. Because someone pointed out, said post had the Japanese apostrophe instead of whatever the fuck that means. I'm no grammar expert. So like I said, the question is not if it was them, it's if it was them. If you let your thoughts get swayed by personal bias, you're not going to come to the answer. if I did, I'd still be against Kurosanji. But since I've decided to look at it from a neutral perspective, I'm counting management as a potential third party. And this would also... And Yasuhiro Igarashi possibly so having a part in it would also explain Doki's reaction when she found out about the message. I don't know, I'm still piecing things together. What I'm saying is you get more out of it if you take a neutral stance on things, instead of letting your feelings get in the way. Because the answer's not always the one you want. And the obvious answer isn't always obvious either. Occam's razor. It's incredible to think that they were all arguing just moments ago. In such a short amount of time, the strength of her abilities and resolve has gained the trust of her fellow detectives. Okay, back to the game now. Just thought I might as well give my stance on things before people say that I'm taking sides. I mean, the only time I actually watch Kurosanji myself is when I'm bored as shit. And there's nothing else on. Other than that, I just look at game reviews and playthroughs. I have a vague sense of what really happened here. By the time you're finished, the truth should take shape and reveal itself before us. After receiving directions from Ideal Detective, the others take their leave from the basement to begin their investigations. We had been divided into teams of 3, leaving Ideal Detective, Armored Detective, and myself at the crime scene. Ideal Detective appears to be deep in thought, so I decided to join Armored Detective in examining the body. True to the courting Duke's name, the victim's head, arms, and legs have all been severed away from the torso. The more I look, the more horrific the manner of death appears. So savage, I can't believe the culprit is even human. But the cruel truth is inescapable. Just like knockoff Danganronpa. Wouldn't say that was a terrible game, because otherwise I would have played through it 3 times. But at the end of the day, there were more flaws than there were pros. So incompetent, even if the culprit used a wire, do these cross-sections on the corpse do not appear too clean to you? The cross-sections. Grudgingly, I take a closer look at the severed parts. They've been cut so perfectly straight, it seems unnatural. Surely a human body could have been out easy to slice clean through. Evidence acquired, overly clean cut. No matter how keen a wire's edge can be, by no means could mere human strength saw through a limb more smooth.
そうですね。切り直そうとするほど微妙に歪んでしまいます。あれ、つまり犯人は人の力ではない。では、その方法とはつまり。
Could only mean I haven't finished it. Me neither. Both of our shoulders droop. Come to think of it, white blood dripping from the ceiling. Does human blood have the force to spray that flame into the air? Huh? You're right. The whole ceiling is splattered red. Oh, what could have caused that? Evidence acquired. Bloodstained. Eureka!
何が分かったんですか、武
Did you
装さん。
figure something out, Army? Indeed, I am determined that we are woefully unfit for this task. It would seem mystery solving is far beyond our ken. You don't mince words, do you? True to his appearance, Armin really does fall on the bronze end of the spectrum. Takes all kinds to be a detective, I guess. However, being now the top suspect in this case, his candor and utter lack of suspicion are a total relief. Though he does strike me as kind of an enigma, somehow.
幾分かリラックスした様子じゃないか、無能君。
ideal detective approaches, visibly enjoying herself.
先ほどまでの怯え切った。
理想さん。
Were you able to sort out whatever was on your mind, idea?
ああ、推理の展望は大。
You've only just started, and already she speaks together the truth of the situation. With intellect like hers, it's no wonder she's the de facto head and second highest ranked member of the DA.
理想殿は何故我をこの場に残したのだ。
My man, Lady Ideal,
お主は
wherefore did you
我のサポ
station me
ート
here?
など不要だと思うのだ
Scarcely
が。
believe you would require my assistance.
ああ、はっきり言って推理力の面において私は武装官にさほど期待はしていない。
You'd be correct. Frankly, I have low expectations of your armor, as far as your private production is concerned. Ouch! Ideal gives a quick, straightforward reply, to the point where it's almost impressive.
だが君ほど
However,
侮辱
no
に他者を
defense of
阻
it
む
with
者
much sincerity as you, the
武装
personality
君の性
impacts
格
the
は
team far more
君
than
自
you
身は
realize.
無能君が落ち着いて推
But
理
in
に
confidence
臨
feels
んで
comfortable
いる
around you that you can
武
tackle
装
the
君に
case
対
without
して
mind.
心を開いているからだよ。
Well, with my ability to see through my emotions when I was younger now. I guess it stems from the fact that I hate lies. Whenever I tell one which I feel could have massive repercussions, within the next hour I want to just tell it was a lie. That's why I'm too honest. Yes, I make jokes, but then yes, I do lie sometimes, but they're in jest.
正直に言うとね、もうこの現場には調べるべきことじゃない。
Come again? So all of our investigative efforts were for
た
nothing?
だからこそ断言できる。推理が得意な探偵が他に一人でもいる。我々の強みはこの大切さを理解してくれると思ったからこそ。
My detailed detective's voice brushes against us with a gentle comfort. This moment I see a not as immature, mysterious leader, but for the young girl as she is, as if her mask has slipped off.
さて、他の探偵たちに指示を出しに行こうか。
With that, ideal detective leads us down the basement. The basement. There's no assault following past. Where could the other detectives have gone to
探
investigate?
偵デバイスのマップ機能を使用するといいよ。
As she speaks, ideal detective shows us the screen of her own device.
私たちのいる館のマップとこのマップには位置情報の共有機能をオンにし、デフォルトではオンになっているから、お手洗いへ行くときには。
Well, yeah. I need toilet. Huh? Oh my god, this is too personal stuff. Incredible, you can see where everyone is at just a glance. But I do not spy Lady Downtown, so workaholic Lady Rowdy.
ああ、彼らには外の見張りをお願いしたよ。
What? Then let us strike forth as well. We cannot allow the fair maidens to stroll about outside whilst exposed on the prowl. Moments after shouting this, armored detective rushes towards the entrance.
言ってしまった。社畜君もヤマト君もいるから平気だと思うが。まあよしとしようか。無能君だけに教えておきたい機能も。
Ideal detective continues
この
explanation.
デバイスのマップには実はさらに3つ便利な機能があるんだ。このデバイスのマップには
Map has
実
three
はさ
additional
らに
features.
3
The
つ
first is
便利な機
marking
能があるんだ。
function, which flags mystery
ま
points.
ずは探偵たちが怪しいと感じたこのデバイスのマップには実はさらに3つでもし捜査に行き詰まった際はマークの場所を推理するといい。それは私が個人的に怪しいと感じた箇所を色付けし、そしてもう一つが各自の現在の行動を伝え合う。試しにカーソルを文学探偵に合わせてみるといい。彼女が今何をしているのか一
The
目で
detective's next action, such as info and respect, will be displayed overhead. Hover the cursor of the detective to see where he intends to
ガン
move
ダムに違
next.
和感を覚えたか。やはり
さて、無能君の質問だ。
What would you do if you encountered an issue concerning
君ならばどうする？
ask for help? Even though I'm a lone wolf.
先ほどの経験が早速生きて、私も君と同意見さ。だが、得てして探偵は様子を見る限り、文学君もその一人だな。じゃあどうすれば。
Radio detective answers me with a smile.
介入してしまえばいいんだよ。
介入？
Intervene?
つまり、探偵
In
デ
other
バイ
words,
スを
he
通じ
isn't
て、
deep attention
探
to
偵た
do
ちも
something
今
on
と
the
近くにい
necklace.
る魔界君が敵
Yes,
なん
it's
だね。
nearby, so it's fine.
文学君の元
Let's
に
have
向
him
かわ
use
せ
his weapon
一緒にじゃあ指示をよろしく頼むよ。
Very well. Huh? To freeze up and she casually orders me to do something clean and
何を
inspect.
硬直している。可愛いやつだな、君は。
Easy to just gloss over. Even so, her expression remains dead serious.
大丈夫だ。メールを送る感覚で行える。
What do you mean?
日への挑戦こそが探偵の本分さ。
Doesn't seem like I can back out of this one. I'll just have to try giving some instructions. Intervene with detectives to reassign their independently planned actions. Detectives left to their own devices will make errors, investigate alone, and generally inefficiently. Intervene with these individuals and make them work together in order to facilitate a more efficient investigation process.
神に感謝。
見ててね。二人の推理力を出してもダメージをは解けないことがわかる。そういう時には連携が得意な探偵に指示を出すんだ。
Detectives are able to assist each other from adjacent positions. Any character is making an inference already or plans to do so from the assistant. Assisting lets you add a helper's value to an individual's inference value. Utilize this command properly to keep your investigation on track.
神よ。
いい指示だな。二人の推理。さて、次はエントランスホールに視点を。家族くんがシャンデリアの周囲を独占しているな。操作に遠慮は禁物だ。美食くんにはシャンデリアを家族くんと二人です。
お姉さんに何か
God,
ご用？
I mean, thanks to him that last well, this morning I ended up thinking of chandelier.
お姉さんに何かご用？
エクセレント。さて、
Same in
飛
the
躍くんにはどうしてもらうか。
お客さんも好き。
being committed in a fade, right? Discovering evidence.
その通りだ。飛躍くんの最たる特徴は自分への脅威を引きつけてやまり。飛躍くんには体質を生かしてシャンデリアの周囲を調べてもらおう。私の推理では手がかりが残っているはずだ。何か用かな。
Inspect.
いいね。理想的な指示。さて、チューニングは完了だ。操作開始の指示を
Give
出
the
して
order to start the
経過を見
investigation
守
and
ろ
keep
う。
an eye on the passage of time. Once the detective's actions are set, press options to access the main menu and select Investigate or Preliminary. On selecting Investigate, the detectives you have intervened with will follow your commands while the rest will act independently. In a preliminary investigation, only those you have intervened with will act. So let's begin with this, as it can uncover new mysteries or clues. While we haven't intervened with Techie, there isn't much to do, so let's start the investigation anyway.
どうしたの？
Oh, what? Investigate.
この辺りを調査すればいい
Okay,
んだ
time to
よね。
inspect this area. Here we go. Ah! I tripped again. Huh? Oh, the carpet's been cut off. I wonder why. Everything's required. Grab the carpet.
なんで私が協力しなければなりませんの？
まあまあ、家族ちゃんはこの私を。
確かにその通りですわね。
このシャンデリアの
なんですのこの傷。まさか犯人がどう
Everything's
したんを
quiet.
殺した方法。
Chandelier.
なぜあなたと一緒に推理なん
I'm
てならないのです。
That's the girl that lives counting the substance.
まあそう言うな。
Don't say that.
父の
Think
胸
of
を
this
借
as
り
a
るつもり
transfer
で
for your father.
暖炉というものを
Perhaps do hold the rustic charm. Not
鍵
having
を
to
都
add
度入れなければな
firewood
らないのは
every time is a bit of a hassle. Firewood? That's it. I mean,
そういうことです。
you need to go find your thing down what's in
そう
there.
いうことですか。
君の指示によって捜査が大きくし、君は私が現れた際、探偵たちの探偵と警察の最大の違いは本来、組織だって行動せず、あえて悪い言い方をするならば、自分こそが事件の主役だと思っているわけだよ。これではあの八つ咲き子を相手取るのならば、そんな無謀な姿勢ではダメだ。
僕なんて
How could someone like me do that? There's no way any of those detectives will find what I say. They honestly don't even need me. Ideal detective alone should be able to hold them together.
自分を卑下しがちな点
The
は
tendency to
君の
downplay
美
yourself
徳
is
だ。
virtue.
い
Thoughts
ず
and
れ直さ
weaknesses
な
will
きゃ
be
自
forced
分
to
を卑下
trust
しが
one
ち
day. Ideal detective speaks as though she can see him to my very
ただ
soul.
歴史に名を残
Leaders
す
who
指
make
導者に
history
得
are
て
often
して
said to be
臆病
cowards,
者であると言
likely
われている。
because they fix
そ
on
れ
their
は自
potential
分の
for
弱
enemy.
さを知れば強さもおのずと見えてくる。
どうして
Why you have so much faith in me? She opens her eyes wide, fretting over something with an unfocused
ま
gaze.
だ言えないというのは虫が良す
I
ぎる
say
な。
I can't tell you yet, but no,
何かが起きる前に伝えておこう。
I should let you know
私がこ
before
の場に
something
君を呼ん
happens.
だ本当
The
の
reason
訳
I
を。
called you here, that is. The elusive air around her now feels tense. Frozen in place as her hydrangea-hued eyes stare at me. My heart is hammering and my body feels hot all
無
over.
能君、私の名前は
Incompetent, I mean...
よけろ無能君。
I'm incompetent. Huh? At that moment, a powerful force crushes me and my vision goes black. Someone suddenly leaps on my back, tackling into the floor. My head spins, sparks explode behind my eyes, and my consciousness grows hazy. Through it all, I can feel a strong pressure on my throat. As my voice involuntarily slips out, I finally realize that someone is strangling me. I can't breathe. My mind starts to fade and my whole body starts to go pale. I'm flailing about in desperation, catching nothing but air. This keeps up another fact that it's gonna kill me.
やめろ下道探偵。
Renegade detective, stop.
大丈夫か無能君。
Are you incompetent? Yeah,
一
just
体ど
had
う
my
いう
life
つもりだ
flash before my
下
eyes.
道探偵。
What in the world are you thinking, Renegade
デバイ
detective?
スのマーキング機
Turn
能
off
を
your
オフに
D-Pass
すれ
location
ば
sharing, and you can
今
pull
み
off
た
as
い
many
にいく
ambushes
らで
as you
も
want.
不意打ち可
The
能
way
な
I did
デ
just
バイ
now.
スとにらめっこ
I
ば
need
か
to
りして
show
い
you the
ると
danger
足
of
元を
burying
す
your
くわ
head
れる
in
と
that
いう懸念を
device.
伝えた
How
かった
easily you
んだ
can slip and lose your
許
footing.
してくれ
Forgive me, Holmes.
謝罪する相手が違う。この無能探偵深く真摯に
You're talking to one
心から
person
詫び
here.
ろ。速やかに
Incompetent here deserves a deep,
Some
sincere
of them.
apology. Hurry now, or that
Kimi no
charming neck
kubi
will
no-
pop.
オーケーオーケー優先
Got my
順位を間違
priorities screwed
っ
up.
ていたよ
Sorry. The lanky man has a nonchalant air about him. He turns to me with a fake smile.
俺は下道探
Name's
偵
Renegade Detective.
少しい
I'm
た
a
ずら好
virtuous
きなだけの
investigator
善
with a
良な
penchant for
好
practical
きな言
jokes.
葉は世界
My
平
favorite
和
phrase is
趣
world
味は
peace,
ボ
and
ラ
I
ンテ
spend
ィ
my
アだ
free
よ
time volunteering.
な
Hope you
な
get
ん
along.
だか真剣
The
な話をし
conversation
てい
was
た
so
からつ
serious, I
い
just
チャ
had
チャ
to
を入れ
burn
た
with
く
some
なってし
levity.
まったんだ
My bad.
ごめん
Can you ever forgive me? You
許
will,
して
won't
くれ
you?
るか
Thanks. He prattles on with his apology, finishing up with a cackle. I startle when I notice a line of blood dripping down my neck. Is it really that funny to choke someone so hard that your nails rip their skin? I was genuinely prepared to die. How far is this guy willing to take a joke?
そんなに怯えた顔をし
Come
な
on,
いで
don't
く
look
れ
so
よ
scared. Didn't it give you that tingling feeling? And now he's beaming at me, face flushed with joy. Of all the detectives I've met, this is by far the most incomprehensible.
君の気まぐれはいつものこ
As
とだ
fickle as
が
ever, but this time you've gone too far. Do so again, and I will exercise my authority
次に
as
同じ
chief
ことを
to restrain you. Ideal Detective's voice grows harsher, and she steps up to Renegade Detective. Renegade jokingly leaps back in an overdramatic fashion.
わかったよ
Oh, absolutely, dear Holmes. I sure would hate to be so inconvenienced. You worded my comment.
言ったな。
I'll hold
で
you
は
to
今回の事件に
that.
つ
And tell us what
い
you've
て
gathered about this
君なりの
case. I
推
take
理を
it that
口
you
にして
two
み
have
ろ。
seen the truth of the matter. Renegade's eyes grow wide. He sighs.
やられたね
You got me. You feel a bit out of character, the way you got so upset. You plan to make me swear I'd cooperate from the very start, huh? Of course, only second-rate detectives control their own emotions. I need to use them as a weapon. Ideal detective smiles in triumph, so her harsh tone just now was a lie. I was completely fooled. Oh well, it was worth it to see a rare glimpse of your fury. So fine, I'll share my thoughts with you. This case is too transparently pure. So boring it makes me nauseous. The culprit must be so self-satisfied. Ah, there's no beauty in it, not in the least. Killing should be ugly, beyond redemption, gnawed by emotion, oozing, cloudy, grimy. I know what I was talking about. That's what makes it so fascinating. What are you talking about? His words are utter nonsense. What's more, he says it all so casually, as if he's telling a joke. Just listening to him makes my skin crawl. Not equipped to understand the person standing before me, even the scene of the murder was less chilling than him. No need for guesswork. It's all plain as day. Check out that scrap of carpet. My theory is right. Some evidence to be left now. Better show me a good time, oh future legend. And with that, renegade detective taps my shoulder and departs. A rather peculiar detective, that one. Yeah. It was like... I stopped myself just in time. It's like talking to a villain, but I just can't say that. Holy shit! It's like talking to a villain, right? Ideal detective speaks my thoughts for me without reservation. The intuition is spot on. As a matter of fact, he killed his mother and father. He's an actual murderer? His own parents too? How's someone like that even in the detective line? Doesn't matter if he did it as a kid, letting him have this much freedom is unimaginable. Why he was led into the alliance I just can't fathom. Makes me suspect they might even be the Quarren Duke. The reason is simple. No detective understands homicidal maniacs better than he does. He's been granted a degree of freedom on the condition that... Sorry about that. I've just been choked. Remember? That uses his unique skills to work with the detective lines. Although seductive prowess is on par with his own, his personality stops him from working with others, keeping him at rank 4. Again, I found myself astounded by the diversity within the DA's personnel. Despite his past, he must be an outstanding detective now. He did give us advice after all, and even if he's terrifying, he sure has a talent for detective work. I just have to find a way to trust him. I whispered this to myself as if doing so would clear.
想定外の時間が取られてしまった。下道君は絨毯のこうしたエビデンスは的確な近くにいる探偵だと家族君や科学ピンカートン家の誇りにおっと家族君ね美食君と連携すこれでは介入できないじゃないか
What? So what do we do now?
Detectives
aren't programs, they're human.
このように介入ができないだからこそ指示する側の人間には臨機応変な指示が
I am a robot. I don't know what you're talking about.
科学君ならこの証拠品も的確な検証を行えるはずさあ絨毯の切れ端の
When the icon above a detective turns red, you'll be able to intervene in their action. These individuals will decide the actions on their own, so prepare to respond accordingly. Evidence you have collected can be analysed. Each piece has an assigned difficulty level. Higher levels require higher analysation. Note that items acquired from an MP do not require additional analysis. Evidence from an ES, however, must be analysed by a detective of sufficient ability. Analyse.
絨毯の切り口。早くエントランスホールの床を。エクセレント。やったじゃないか。猶予が残り少ない。家族探偵に指示ができない中であの箇所。New MPs and ESs will appear as detectives advance the investigation. It's recommended to do a preliminary investigation first, so that other detectives can select afterwards. This will help streamline the process, as they can then move closer to new MPs or ESs around here.
どうかしたの？
何か用かな。
甘味完食、雨あられ。お姉さんに何かご用？歯ごたえがなさそうな謎ね。
何か用かな。
時、ああそうだ、移動していない探偵がいて、今回の場合検証しか行っていない科学の
detective active but did not move may do so following a preliminary investigation. Preemptively move individuals to next point of suspicion for a regular investigation.
僕が解決しましょう。
いいじゃないか。今に
But one of the mysteries we've been investigating them gone by then?
さて、それはどうかな。それと、もし手持ち無沙汰な事件とは無関係でさあ、準備ができたなら探偵たちに捜査
Upon starting an investigation, those you haven't intervened with will perform predetermined action. You know, saying I don't detectives, it's good to check what action they can perform.
何か少女に尋ねかける。何か用ですか？少女の根気強く調べましょう。少女に気合を入れる。
敏感トンゲの誇りにかけて。
Don't even think about it.
僕にご用ですか？
Oh, wait.
神よ。
No. Respect.
オカルトの仕業だな。
Investigate.
あら？この隙間ならワイヤーだって通す
Evidence
ことができ
acquired.
る。
Floor gaps.
やはりな、床の隙間と絨毯の切れ端の関係。
科学探偵にエントランスホールへ来て。
そうだろ。さて、次は私は口出ししない。
え？無理ですよ。
無理じゃない。さあ、次は
Hydrangea eyes before enemy, ending me speechless. He's serious. He holds no mirth from the anticipation. The chief of the DA is looking to me, not incompetent. If I turn back now, how will I ever become an exceptional detective? I'll do it. Like I'll go above and beyond. Above and beyond what, MHA?
君の推理を。
I look at the deep, and here's my brain whirling frantically.
ぞ。
何か用ですか？少女の視線を
僕が解決しましょう。僕が解決しましょう。
ビンカートン家の誇りにかけて。
Don't even think about it.
お姉さんに何かご用？甘味完食、雨あられ。
僕にご用ですか？ネジ一つだって見逃しません。
どうしたの？
Explain.
はい。少女は保証する。
神よ。
Where's this switch on the wall? There's a separate one for the lights, so this must be for activating something else.
Comeよ。
僕が解決しましょう。
Inspect. No, it's not inspect.
何か妙ですね。
胸がうずくぞ。
神よ。オカルトの仕業だな。
どうしたの？
良好だな。
This information seems useful. Share the Analysis
科
complete.
学的に考えましょう。
見事だ。今のようにそれまで推理するには
どうかしたの？
何か用かな？
Ante la annihilación.
甘味完食、雨あられ。至れり尽くせりせせり焼き。
何か用かな？どうしたの？僕なんかでも解けるかな？
どうされましたか？
Boost!
さあ、実験を始めましょうか。
Investigate. Flowers remain in annihilation.
ビンカートン家の誇りにかけて何か
No, I refuse to let you. Shush. For hours remain. Evidence quality. Excuse me, ID. I call out to stop Ideal Detective as we make our way back. Please, tell me, what's the real reason you brought me to this island? Can't help but ask. I need to know the rest of what she was going to say earlier. After all, why would someone as bumbling as myself be invited to stand among a talented crowd of detectives like this? And for the chief of the DA to place so much trust in me? Something so bizarre. I understand my limitations better than anyone. My talent's so undeserving of your good grace. But the real kicker is the way you clearly know me. Just what is it you want from me? What's not being like me and doing on this island? My shouts echo down in the hall as every pent-up question I have comes bursting out at once. I just can't understand why this world-famous detective would act so cryptic.
意地悪が君の困り顔が見たいと私の中のいたずら坊やが悪さをしまあ10年ぶりの再会なんだサプライズをしたいと
Our first meeting in 10 years? Wait, did you just call me Watto? Could it really be? My heart catches in my throat. One person someone met 10 years ago called me by that name. But there's just no way.
ずっと再会する日を夢見てきたんだ私の本名はサイカ・シェリンフォード・ホームズ
That's impossible! My voice comes out in a shout before I curb it. I breathe deeply, but the shock won't subside. Ideal detective is Saika? That can't be! I saw her covered in blood right before me! There's no way Saika is alive. Avenging her has been my motivation all this time, but now? Calm yourself. Ideal comes close and softly cups my cheek. I'm startled by the sudden intimacy, but her arm around my waist keeps me in place.
あの牢獄での記憶を無理に思い出そうとして心僕は
Did I really?
ああ先ほどみんなの前で語った言葉に嘘はない敵は私が思うよりもずっと狡猾で君をこの場に呼んだのは本当に君の力が必要
Ideal gazes at me with a sadness that reminds me of the Psycho I once knew. That vulnerable, girlish expression taking the place of her usual sagacity was nearly identical, but I can't help but wonder if this is truly the same person. Is it really you, Saika?
ようやくその名前で呼んでくれたな
A relieved smile spreads across Ideal Detective's face. Doesn't seem like an act. She's sincerely happy to be reunited with me.
覚えておくといい私たち探偵が誰が疑おうとも君が君自身を信じられずだから
Ideal steps back from me, her expression already reverting to its usual dignified air. Between her countenance as chief of the DA and this vulnerable girl, I'm not sure which is real. There's so much cause for suspicion. And yet, I still don't know the truth. But I'll choose to believe in your words, which is to say, I want to believe you. Played the past out of my mind countless times, wishing I could have saved you, Saika. I